Elon Musk has 14 publicly known children with 4 women, but questions remain about whether the real number is higher. Over 2 decades, his family has grown through marriages, relationships, surrogacy, and legal battles. The paper trail behind Musk's expanding family reveals a story that keeps raising new questions. So let's get the number straight first, because it keeps moving. As of the most recent reporting, Elon Musk is confirmed to be the father of 14 children, born to 4 different women over more than 2 decades. He has fathered at least 14 children with multiple partners over that span, and that's just the count that's been made public and confirmed. Here's how it breaks down. Musk's ex-wife, Justine Wilson, had 6 children with him. Musk has 6 children with his ex-wife, Justine Wilson. The first was a son, Nevada, born in 2002, who tragically died of SIDS at 10 weeks old. Then came twins, followed later by triplets through IVF. One of those twins is Vivian Wilson, who came out as transgender in 2022 and has been public about cutting ties with her father. Next is Grimes, the musician, real name Claire Boucher. Musk shares 3 children with musician Grimes. Their first, born in 2020, made headlines for his name alone, XAA12, later shortened for legal purposes. 2 more followed through surrogacy. Then there's Siobhan Zilis, a Neuralink executive who worked closely with Musk for years before they started having children together. The tech billionaire also has 4 children with tech executive Siobhan Zilis. Their first 2 were twins, born via IVF in 2021. And their existence wasn't public until Musk's biographer, Walter Isaacson, posted photos of them in 2023. Zilis has since had at least 2 more children with Musk, including one she named Selden Lycurgus, announced on X, discussed with Elon, and in light of beautiful Arcadia's birthday, we felt it was better to also just share directly about our wonderful and incredible son, Selden Lycurgus. Musk's reply to that announcement was a single heart emoji. That brings the running count to 13-6, with Wilson, 3 with Grimes, 4 with Zilis. The 14th is where the story stops being just about big families and starts being about secrecy. That 14th child belongs to Ashley St. Clair, a conservative influencer and children's book author, who, until February 2025, wasn't a name anybody associated with Musk's family tree at all. St. Clair claims she became pregnant with Musk's 13th child and secretly gave birth to their baby 5 months before going public. She made the announcement on X, Musk's own platform, where she'd built an audience of over 1 million followers. Her post read, in part, "5 months ago, I welcomed a new baby into the world. Elon Musk is the father." She added that she'd kept it quiet up to that point to protect the child's privacy, but felt tabloids were about to force the issue anyway. Musk didn't confirm or deny it right away. What he did do was reply "whoa" to a different user, who'd accused St. Clair of scheming to trap him, which notably wasn't a denial either. So here's where the 14 stands. 6 kids with Justine Wilson, 3 with Grimes, 4 with Siobhan Zilis, and 1 with Ashley St. Clair. 4 mothers, 14 children. That's the number every outlet, every biography chapter, every family tree breakdown settles on right now. But that number came with an asterisk attached almost immediately. And that asterisk is the whole reason people started asking whether 14 was ever really the ceiling. Here's where things stop looking like a big, unconventional family and start looking like something being actively managed. Because once St. Clair went public, the details that came out weren't about baby showers and nurseries. They were about non-disclosure money. According to the Wall Street Journal, Musk offered St. Clair a serious amount of money to make the whole thing disappear. St. Clair told the WSJ that Musk offered her US $15 million and $100,000 monthly to stay silent about her pregnancy and the birth of their infant son. And that offer wasn't a one-time thing. The offer included a one-time fee of $15 million for a house to cover living expenses, plus an additional $100,000 a month until the baby turned 21, according to the Journal's reporting. Before the baby was even born, Musk was reportedly already sending money her way. While pregnant, Musk sent St. Clair $2 million to cover expenses, which was structured as a loan. And during labor, the instructions got specific. During labor, St. Clair was told by Musk's team to keep his name off the birth certificate. She agreed initially, then she hired a lawyer, something she says Musk had advised her against doing. And that's when the arrangement started falling apart. St. Clair didn't take the deal. She didn't sign the monetary support agreement and instead went to court. Around the same time, she gave interviews describing what the relationship had actually looked like behind closed doors. She told the New York Post that Musk was funny and down to earth, but that the arrangement around the baby was anything but casual. She said she'd been told to keep the child a secret, not for a few months, but permanently. In her words to the Post, "I was told to keep it secret. I was being asked to keep it a secret forever." She described being isolated during the pregnancy, unable to work, unable to tell people, cut off from her normal life. The paper trail didn't stop at hush money. St. Clair filed 2 petitions in New York Supreme Court in February 2025, one asking the court to order a paternity test and one seeking sole custody. She alleged the pair began their romantic relationship in May 2023 and conceived their son around January 2024. In the custody filing, she claimed Musk had barely engaged with the child at all. Musk was not present for the child's birth and has only met the baby on 3 occasions, twice in Manhattan where she lives, and once in Texas. The filing went further, alleging Musk had also never asked to see the baby, nor asked for photos of him. The texts submitted as evidence are where this stops sounding like a normal custody dispute and starts sounding like something out of a strategy memo. One message, allegedly from Musk in late 2024, reads simply, "I want to knock you up again." Another, from February 2025, read, "Well, we do have a legion of kids to make." That word legion is going to come back later in this story, and it's important. But first, the paternity itself got settled the hard way. In April 2025, the Journal reported it had reviewed the results of a court-ordered LabCorp test. The Wall Street Journal stated it reviewed a LabCorp paternity test ordered by a New York court that found there was a 99.9999% probability that Musk was the father. St. Clair's publicist confirmed the substance of that reporting, telling reporters the test had been accurately described, even if they couldn't hand over the document itself. The Journal's report also gave the baby a name for the first time, Romulus. Not a name picked at random. Romulus is the mythical founder of Rome, the twin who killed his brother Remus to found the city alone. It's a name that fits a pattern, because Musk has leaned on Roman references before when talking about his family. And that pattern is where this story gets stranger. By late May 2025, the dispute had moved into a Manhattan courtroom. St. Clair appeared in a Manhattan courtroom in her ongoing paternity and custody battle, and New York Supreme Court Judge Jeffrey Perlman sealed the proceedings. Musk didn't show up in person. Court records don't even confirm whether he dialed in remotely. Meanwhile, St. Clair's attorney was telling reporters that Musk's side wouldn't even formally engage with the case. Despite requests, Mr. Musk has still not accepted service of the motion papers via his alleged attorneys. As a result of avoiding personal service, he has prolonged the litigation and caused unnecessary distress. "We don't have anyone we can properly speak with." And then while that case was still unresolved, the story took another turn, because reporting surfaced that Musk had welcomed a 14th child with yet another woman, entirely separate from any of the 4 already known. So why would a man with 14 confirmed kids across 4 women be actively working through texts, through offers of surrogates to have more, faster? The answer, according to people close to him, is that he's not thinking about this in terms of a normal family. He's thinking in terms of a legion. That's not a word we're choosing for effect. It's reportedly his own. Musk refers to his offspring as a legion, a reference to the ancient military units that could contain thousands of soldiers and were key to extending the reach of the Roman Empire. One of the mothers of his children told the Wall Street Journal directly that the tech billionaire wants a legion of children to prepare for the apocalypse. And this wasn't just a private nickname he used once. During St. Clair's pregnancy, according to the texts she provided to the Journal, Musk was already talking about scaling up the operation. St. Clair showed the newspaper text from Musk that she received while pregnant with his child that suggested they bring in other women to have their children faster, with one message reading, "To reach legion level before the apocalypse, we will need to use surrogates." Surrogates. Not just IVF with existing partners, an active plan to recruit additional women into the process, and the Journal's reporting didn't stop there. It also alleged that Musk had been using X, the platform he owns, to look for candidates. The newspaper alleged that Musk has used X, the social media platform formerly known as Twitter, that he bought in 2022 to try and find more women to have his babies. Other reporting backed this up with more specifics. According to sources that spoke to WSJ, he has recruited potential mothers, often lesser-known users, for his offspring through messages on his social media platform X. This is where the naming pattern stops looking like coincidence. Musk named his son with St. Clair Romulus, the mythical founder of Rome. He's described his sprawling family using explicitly imperial language. He named one of his children Romulus, a reference to the legendary founder of the ancient city of Rome, and has described his children as Legion, a reference to the imperial units that would facilitate the expansion of the Roman Empire. One academic who studies his public philosophy put it this way: instead of trying to extend his own life, he wants to live forever through his progeny, and having as many as possible seems like the best way to ensure this. He would appear to see himself as a founding figure in an imperial dynasty. This isn't a private eccentricity Musk keeps to himself either. He's been publicly loudly consistent about the underlying belief for years, tying it directly to what he sees as a global emergency. Back in 2021, at a Wall Street Journal event, he said it plainly: "I can't emphasize this enough. There are not enough people, and I think one of the biggest risks to civilization is the low birth rate." He's repeated versions of that line at conferences overseas, telling one audience in Saudi Arabia, "I think for most countries, they should view the birth rate as the single biggest problem they need to solve." So on one hand, you've got a public policy position, Musk arguing on stages and in interviews that falling birth rates are a civilizational threat. On the other hand, you've got private text messages talking about surrogates and legion-level numbers, hush money offers running into 8 figures, and a pattern of children surfacing not through announcements, but through court filings and biographer photo leaks. And it's that second track, the quiet track, that brought the count from 13 to 14 to whatever comes after 14. Because right as the St. Clair case was working its way through a Manhattan courtroom, word came out that Musk had welcomed another child, a different woman. Nobody had heard of her before either. The pattern that started with Zillis and repeated with St. Clair was happening again, in real time, while the previous chapter of it was still being litigated. That's not a rumor floated by a tabloid with an axe to grind. That's the trajectory reporters were tracking as the story physically unfolded. One confirmed child becoming public knowledge roughly every few months, each one revealed by court filing or leaked photo rather than by Musk himself. Here's where the number stops being a settled fact and starts being a moving target. Because while the St. Clair custody case was still active, a report surfaced that Musk had welcomed a child with a completely different, previously unknown woman, pushing the number past 14 and straight into paternity dispute territory all over again. News outlets covering the St. Clair custody hearing noted the timing directly. The news of Musk's court summons came after we learned that Elon had welcomed a 14th child with a different woman, meaning by the time St. Clair's son was even confirmed as child number 13 through DNA testing, reporting was already surfacing about a 14th, entirely separate child with someone else. And as of the most recent reporting, there's now a court in New York actively working to determine the paternity of yet another child beyond that. Musk has 13 children he has confirmed, and a possible 14th child whose paternity is now being determined by a New York court. Stack those two threads together and you get the picture. The St. Clair child, confirmed through a LabCorp test at over 99.9999% probability, became child number 13 or 14 depending on which count you're using. And there's already a separate, unresolved case asking whether there's one more beyond that, with a different mother entirely. And this is exactly the pattern reporters kept flagging every time a new name surfaced, that the public count seems to lag behind the real one by months, sometimes years. The Journal put it plainly in its April 2025 feature. After speaking to multiple sources close to Musk, many sources told the publication that they believe the true number of Musk's children is much higher than publicly known. That's not one anonymous tipster. That's a pattern across multiple sources telling one of the most rigorous financial newspapers in the country the same thing. Whatever number gets printed in a headline is probably already out of date, and nobody has been more blunt about not knowing the real number than Musk's own children. Vivian Wilson, his eldest daughter from his marriage to Justine Wilson, and one of the few of his kids who speaks publicly at all, has said flatly that she doesn't even know how many siblings she has. Vivian Wilson, one of Musk's older children, recently told Teen Vogue that she doesn't know how many half-siblings she has in her family and is estranged from her father. Think about that for a second. This isn't a stranger speculating from the outside. This is his own daughter, and she can't give you a number either. That estrangement runs deep, and it's tangled up with the same family sprawl we've been tracing. Wilson transitioned and changed her name years ago, cutting ties with her father in the process, and she said publicly that she no longer wants to be associated with him at all. She's also spoken about how uncomfortable it is to have her own life treated as a subplot in her father's public family narrative. A private text trail confirming a Legion mindset, a public front that gives almost nothing away, and a running count that every journalist covering it agrees is probably behind the real total. So where does that leave? The number 14 is the figure that's been confirmed through paper trails, birth records, DNA tests, direct statements from the mothers themselves. The Tesla and SpaceX CEO has now fathered at least 14 children with 4 women, and that number is the floor, not the ceiling. Every person close to this story, the mothers, the lawyers, the reporters who've spent months chasing court filings, keeps landing on the same conclusion. 14 is just what's been proven. It's not what's actually true. And the mechanism behind that gap isn't complicated once you look at how each child became public. Not one of the 14 was announced by Musk himself in a straightforward way. Nevada and the first set of twins came from a marriage that ended in divorce. The Grimes children were confirmed piecemeal, with even the name of the first one needing a legal amendment. The Zillis twins only became public because a biographer posted a photo. Musk hadn't planned to reveal them at all in September 2023, after Musk biographer Walter Isaacson posted the first photos of Musk's twins with Siobhan Zillis. Grimes responded somewhat shockingly, suggesting that Musk is not letting her see one of their sons. Even Grimes, one of the 4 mothers, didn't have full visibility into what was happening with the other children. And the St. Clair child only became public because St. Clair chose to go public herself against pressure and against a multi-million-dollar offer to stay quiet. If she'd taken the $15 million and the $100,000 a month, child number 13 might still be unconfirmed today, seated away behind an NDA, the way Musk's team reportedly told her every other mother before her had signed. Jared reportedly told Ashley that Elon's other baby mothers had signed similar secrecy agreements, and cautioned that taking the legal route always leads to a worse outcome for that woman than what it would have been otherwise. That line alone tells you everything about how this system has worked up to now. If that statement is accurate, it means every mother before St. Clair who might have wanted to go public had already been offered and had accepted money to not do exactly what St. Clair did, which means the 14 we know about aren't the 14 who exist. They're the 14 where either a paternity test forced the issue or a mother decided the money wasn't worth the silence. Add to that the surrogate strategy laid out in Musk's own alleged texts, the plan to bring in additional women specifically to accelerate the numbers. And you've got a system explicitly built to produce more children than any single public tally could track in real time. If Legion level is the actual internal goal, as the texts suggest, then 14 isn't a milestone, it's a waypoint. The custody case over Romulus is still unresolved as of the most recent court filings. The ongoing legal dispute is unresolved, and the separate paternity matter involving a 14th or 15th child is still working through the New York courts as well, with no public resolution yet. Both of those threads mean more disclosures are likely still coming. The same way St. Clair's disclosure came, the same way the Zillis twins came out through a biographer's photo instead of a press release. What's clear? When you line up every confirmed birth against every leaked text and every source telling reporters, the real number runs higher. Is that the 14 the public keeps citing was never meant to be a final count. It was the number that survived long enough to reach a court docket or a DNA lab before anyone could stop it. Musk's own daughter can't tell you the real number. The mothers who've spoken up say they were offered money, specifically to keep their children off any public list at all. And the man at the center of it has spent years talking, on stage and in interviews, about needing more people in the world, while privately, according to his own alleged messages, working out how to use surrogates to make that happen faster than biology alone would allow. Not one of the 14 was announced by Musk himself in a straightforward way. Nevada and the first set of twins came from a marriage that ended in divorce. The Grimes children were confirmed piecemeal, with even the name of the first one needing a legal amendment. The Zillis twins only became public because a biographer posted a photo. Musk hadn't planned to reveal them at all. In September 2023, after Musk biographer Walter Isaacson posted the first photos of Musk's twins with Siobhan Zillis, Grimes responded somewhat shockingly, suggesting that Musk is not letting her see one of their sons. Even Grimes, one of the four mothers, didn't have full visibility into what was happening with the other children. And the St. Clair child only became public because St. Clair chose to go public herself, against pressure and against a multi-million-dollar offer to stay quiet. So does Elon Musk have more kids than the 14 we know about? Every source close to the situation, the mothers, the lawyers, the paper trail itself, points the same direction. The count keeps climbing every time someone forces the issue, and there's no indication anyone stopped forcing it.